Hey everyone, it's Pat from patdavidmusic, and today we're diving into the world of arpeggios. Now, you maybe have seen this word before, maybe you've heard it before. All that it means is the notes in the chord. That's all that it would mean, okay? That's how I make sense of it. Hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? So let's give you an example of what are the notes in a chord. Let's choose a nice and happy C major chord. Now, the notes in that C major triad, meaning 3-note chord, are C, E, and G, okay? The 1, the 3rd, and the 5. Now, if that doesn't make sense, there's a link down there to the grade 1 playlist that has all this theory stuff explained, okay? But we're going to keep pressing on. So C major, the notes are C, E, and G. Even though I'm playing more than 3 strings, it's just those same notes repeated, C, E, and G, okay? Now, when you're writing a solo, when you're writing like a lyric idea, something like that, of course you can, you know, if you were playing in the background, if you had a C major chord behind you, of course you can play a C major scale over the top of it. You could play that, of course you can write that into a riff, or you can turn it into a lyric idea, but it's sort of giving everything out, because we're playing every scale degree. So it can get a little bit boring for you to play every scale degree, and for the listener to hear as well. But the short version is, guys, when you do hear some major chords behind you, okay, of course you can solo using the major scale, but can get a little bit boring just constantly going back and forth over that solo. But the main idea is to target those notes that are in the chord, C, E, G, if it's C major. C, E, G. C, E, G. Okay, that's really what we're talking about today. So let's dive into it, guys. So we've chosen C major. Let's use that as the example, okay? But it's a movable shape, so you can play it anywhere. Okay? So start with your second finger on the 8th fret of that 6th string. That's your first note, okay, that's the C. Then drop down a string and play with your second finger, okay, the 7th fret, that's your E, or your major 3rd. And then stretch out your pinky so it's on the 10th fret, and that's your G, or your perfect 5th. And that's all that there is, guys. Okay, that there is an arpeggio. They're the notes within the chord. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that's kind of limiting. Just 3 notes in one area. I'm not really going to be able to solo for that, you know? So that's fine, guys. So let's jump on the next first note, or the next C note for this example, okay? On the 10th fret of the D string. Do that same finger pattern again, okay? So first finger, drop down a string onto the 7th fret. That's your E. Pinky spread out onto the 12th fret. That's your G. Okay, that's another arpeggio there, major. Then move down onto the 2nd string, okay? And this time, have your 2nd finger on the 13th fret. Then your 1st finger on the 12th fret, string below. And your pinky on the 15th. So that's all of the major arpeggios, guys. I'm not saying, guys, to only use arpeggios, but think of it as just adding another color to your brush, or another word to your vocabulary, when you are soloing, writing lyrics, all of that good stuff. So when you're soloing next time, just simply try and start off with an arpeggio. Go back to the major scale. Then maybe finish with the arpeggio. Okay, and use, you know, sort of any mixture. It's just giving you another color, and just so you're not simply going through the notions of playing every scale note, okay, that there is. But the great thing about these major shapes that I was showing you is now you can play every major arpeggio that there is, okay? So we started on C. But if you move it back a fret, then you'd have B. If you move it back onto the, let's say, the 5th fret, okay, that's the A note, you'd have A. Okay, so that one particular shape, you can just move it around. And it's really, really important to know that you're playing the 1, the 3, and the 5. That's it. Okay, and it's fun to play backwards and forwards and all that stuff, but it's just nice to be able to throw it into the mix when you're soloing, and not constantly just focusing on playing all the different scale notes up and down, but just bringing in a little bit more color. But that's it guys, well done for making it to the end. Okay, so now I showed you 3 different major arpeggio shapes, but there's more out there, so see if you can find more. But now you know how to play an arpeggio, or the notes within every major chord, okay? You just move it around to whichever starting note that you need. But that's great guys, well done for making it to the end. I'm Pat from Pat David Music, and I'll see you again. Bye.